Which one? All right, this is the state of Wisconsin versus Thomas Dale, 25 CF 275. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Thomas Deo appears via video conferencing from the Sauk County Jail. Mr. Deo, are you able to hear us?
Yes, miss, I can hear you.
Okay. And did you? Well, never mind. I just realized I hadn't. I'm sorry. Did you receive a copy of the criminal complaint?
No, I have not yet.
Okay. Then I have a copy of the criminal complaint, but I can't waive reading if Mr. Deo doesn't have it. And I do not know if he qualifies for public defender representation. As far as an address goes, Mr. Deo, are you being held for something else at the Sauk County Jail so that we should use the Sauk County Jail as your address or somewhere else?
Well, technically I'm homeless, but I use my dad's address in Baraboo here.
Okay, is that the Ellis Ave in Baraboo?
Yes.
Okay, so the address seems to be correct.
Very good. So, Mr. Dale, you've been charged with one count of attempting to flee or elude an officer. That count alleges that on or about Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, in the town of Springdale, Dane County, Wisconsin, while operating a motor vehicle on a highway after having received a visual or audible signal from a traffic officer, federal law enforcement officer, or marked or unmarked police vehicle that the operator, that'd be you, knew or reasonably should have known was being operated by a law enforcement officer, did knowingly flee or attempt to elude a traffic officer by increasing the speed of the vehicle in an attempt to flee. That's a Class H felony, and upon conviction, you may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 6 years or both. And furthermore, invoking the provisions of Wisconsin Statute 343.31, sub 3, sub D, sub 1, upon conviction, the department shall revoke your operating privileges for 6 months. And Attorney Bruni said he was eligible.
I do not have information.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Well, anything you say could be used against you. Is this in regards to your eligibility?
It's just in regards to the case, because I just got sent.
I would advise you not to say anything. You have an attorney here.
Okay.
I'm not somebody who decides guilt or innocence.
Sure.
In regards to your attorney, you may be eligible for the public defender. You should call to determine, to complete an evaluation if you'd like to be represented by the public defender. I know you said you were homeless. And they can see if you qualify for a public defender to represent you in court, okay? Is that okay, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
State will be recommending $2,000 cash bail. I will ask for the non-monetary conditions that the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle. It looks like my notes are a little dated, given the nature of the offense and its timetable. So these are no longer open cases, but at the time of this charging, the defendant did have open flee eludes out of Sauk County for fleeing and eluding 25 CF 422. He had another open case in Sauk County, 25 CF 363. Both of those, a pretty substantial amount of cash bail was set before it was reduced, and then the defendant picks up new crimes. He also recently resolved a Columbia County case for attempting to disarm a peace officer. Their $500 signature bond was set, then failed to appear at the next court hearing. He did just resolve, I believe, the flee elude maybe earlier this week. But given the number of those cases, the repeat behavior, especially as it relates to law enforcement, as well as the nature of the offense that's described here, I think cash bail is appropriate, and I would ask for it to be set at $2,000.
All right. Attorney Brew.
If I'm understanding, looking at CCAP correctly, I suspect Mr. Deo's actually been in custody in Sauk County for some time now, and he has resolved his matters and will be serving a sentence. And so I don't know that how high any bond in this case is set is going to make a big difference for him unless I'm missing something and he has time served on all of this. So I'd ask the court to consider a lower cash bail or signature bond.
All right. A response from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So Mr. Dale, it seems like no matter what I order today, you're going to be held in Sauk County. Here, in this case, I'm going to order $2,000 cash with the conditions that you not operate a motor vehicle. I think the pursuit was so dangerous it had to be terminated. This case went out on a warrant, and that warrant wasn't able to be served or returned until today or recently, May 2026. So it's going to be important that you get this case taken care of. This is a felony, which means Mr. Dale's entitled to have a preliminary hearing within a certain amount of time. Will the time limits for the prelim be kept or waived?
They will be kept.
Okay,
Thank
we'll
you.
keep the time limits in place then, and we are adjourned. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Sign on at the bottom.
Is there anything I can say or no?
I mean, I've already made my ruling.
Oh, no,
Anything you say-
I understand that. It's just that I'm gonna be serving time in prison here, so the whole $2,000 is, I don't know how I'm gonna be paying that while I'm sitting in prison.
Right, you would go serve your prison sentence and the bond would just remain on file. If something
Okay.
happened, you're able to be released, then you'd be able to take care of that bond.
All right,
You could ask the court to modify bond
Perfect.
before then, okay?
okay,
and-
thank you.
And they should be making arrangements to bring you here for the next court date, and hopefully my office can be in touch with you to get you a lawyer, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It also looks like Hall is the
Turn it off.
Hall in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for Hall.
Carol Joe. As well.
Oh, then maybe it's that. Okay.
So it's gonna be Brooks.
Javon Carroll Brooks. If they are, yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Remove but don't report. Don't report, don't, yep. Yep. There you go. Right. Cause if it gets reported, then it can affect their ability to use Zoom. Yeah. Right. So. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Javon Carroll Brooks, 25 CM 2861. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Laura Bruin appearing in the courtroom. My understanding is Mr. Carroll Brooks may be by phone. Mr. Carroll Brooks, are you able to hear us by phone?
No, I'm at a hospital. Hospital.
Are you able to hear us, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Attorney Broom?
Mr. Carroll Brooks, do you have a copy of the criminal complaint?
I believe
Yeah.
believe we had the IA in this case already.
Oh, you did?
Yep,
Okay,
we're
sorry.
here on a bail bond hearing due to a missed court appearance, the second one in this case.
Okay.
Pause the alarms on there. No, up on the top one.
Well, what's the state's position on bail?
Without
Just sometimes when somebody misses court, the defense attorney will start with a reason why they missed court, so we'll
Right.
go to the state.
without any knowledge on why the defendant missed court, I just note that this is his second missed court appearance on this case. It doesn't look like he's voluntarily appeared in this case yet, I believe. I guess maybe I would need to review that. But given those factors, I do think some cash bail is appropriate at this point. I would ask for it to be set at $250.
That was 250.
That's correct.
Okay. Attorney Broom?
So I have not had any contact with Mr. Carroll Brooks. My office is not any contact with him. So if you would like to speak to me, perhaps we can arrange to have him speak to me privately so I can maybe give some information.
All right. Are we able to, is there a phone number you have available that they would be able to call you so you could? Okay, you're able to do that and we can connect you. Okay, we'll take a brief adjournment so that Attorney Broom can speak with Mr. Carroll Brooks.
there a number you'd like me to call, or is she calling us?
Oh. We'll put you in a breakout room, all right? Since you're on the phone, we'll manually move you to and from the breakout room, all right?
Sounds good.
All right.
What do you need?
All right, we're back on the record in Mr. Carol Brooks's case, 25 CM 2.
Don't know that we have Mr. Carol Brooks back yet. There he is. There we
We
go.
have Mr. Carol Brooks back, I believe. Attorney Brune.
Thank you. Mr. Carol Brooks, unfortunately wasn't aware that he had missed court. It's my understanding he does not have any new charges associated with his arrest on the warrant. He explained that he approached an officer asking for help about a situation unrelated to this. They ran his name and then the warrant was executed. He does not have any money to post for cash bail. I'd ask this court to consider a signature bond under the circumstances.
All right, any response? Any response by the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Unfortunately, Mr. Carol Brooks, this is your second non-appearance. You had attorneys appointed during both of the non-appearances, so it's not something like just didn't know. There's a lengthy criminal history here. I do believe some cash is appropriate to secure Mr. Carol Brooks's appearance. I'm going to order $250 cash. The conditions will remain the same, that you'll have no contact with Brenda Lee O as an orange, and that you're not to be at any Walgreens. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Next up is Alicia Patterson, hearing by Zoom.
We have Ms. Patterson.
Take just a couple seconds. There we go. Ready?
This is the group, hello, this is a group file of bail hearing for Alicia Nicole Patterson, 26 GF 37025. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Laura Bruin appearing in the courtroom. I believe we have Ms. Patterson by video from another part of the jail. Ms. Patterson, are you able to hear us?
Ms. Patterson, can you give us a thumbs up if you can hear us?
Okay, I believe she can hear us. Thank you.
Have you received a copy of there's no complaint?
Yeah, we're here just for bail bond hearing.
Yep. Ms. Patterson, we have a mailing address for you. We don't have a mailing address for you. Is there a good spot where you can receive your mail?
Where? The Beacon.
The Beacon? All right,
Okay.
we'll get your address updated in our system then. Looks like the referral was for a robbery from person. What's the state's request for bail?
At this time, the state is fine with the signature bond. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant have no contact with Shahab J, spelled SHAHAB, and that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
You said Shahab J as in John?
Yes, as in John.
Attorney Broom?
I would think that that should be fine with us, and I would not object.
Okay. Then Ms. Patterson, I'm going to order a signature bond with the conditions that you have no contact with Shahab J, that you not consume or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription, okay? If this case gets filed, you'll get notice of that at the Beacon, so make sure you're checking your mail, all right?
Are we not going to set an IA date at this time?
How much time does the state need?
I reached out to the assigned ADA. He hasn't gotten back to me with a specific date. I thought that there was one in our system. I would ask for 30 days if we need more time. I'm sure that we can get in contact with Ms. Patterson.
I would just ask that a date be set so that she can be notified of it today and does not have to get summoned in and miss a court date.
Let's find something the week of the 18th. I've reviewed the probable cause statement. I think 30 days is a bit excessive. I do understand there's a holiday in there, but the week of the 18th is before the holiday. Okay, So Ms. Patterson, your court date will be Monday, 18th at 8:30 a.m., okay? At 1 a.m. the Dane County Courthouse.
Okay, and that'll be written on the bond that they have you sign before you're released, okay?
Thank you.
Next up is Nicole Herrick.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Nicole Herrick, 26 CM 1029. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Ms. Herrig appears in person, in the Dane County Jail. She's in custody. She's with Attorney Laura Bruin. I acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct. Ms. Herrig does not qualify for public defender representation.
Right, you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. We'll provide you information on the public defender. If you feel like your situation has changed since you've been evaluated, you lose a job or something, for example, you can reach out to them again to get re-evaluated. You can also reach out to the county, the clerk of court's office, and ask for county representation at a reduced cost, okay? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant not engage in any physical discipline of any child.
I'm wondering, in reviewing the complaint, it looks like alcohol may have been an issue or certainly a contributing factor. I'm looking at page 2 of the complaint, the second complete paragraph. Child victim stated several times that Nicole has problems with alcohol and that it causes her to be aggressive. So Attorney Bruin, I'm considering a no alcohol condition as well.
We have no objection to either the conditions requested by the state, or if the court wants to add the no alcohol, we have no objection to that either. Ms. Herrig is on a PO hold and may have to wait for some time depending on what happens for that anyway.
All right. And I'll order a signature bond with the condition that I'm gonna say, make no acts or threats of violence to any child, including any physical discipline, okay? And that you not consume or possess any alcohol. I'll enter not guilty pleas on your behalf, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Right this way, man. Next up is Brooke Buell.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Brooke Buell, 26 CF 1026. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Okay, so what's the PO box? The same zip down here. Okay. And then- Ms. Bull appears in person with Laura Bruin. It's just we will update Ms. Bull's address. It is PO Box 103 in Arena, Wisconsin, 53593. We have acknowledged, I'm sorry, 53503. We will waive reading of the complaint, and Ms. Buell qualifies for public defender representation.
All right. So you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You qualify for public defender representation. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible. I'll note that there's a PSA filed in this case, considers the activity alleged a 3 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale, and Ms. Beulah a 3 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale. And it recommends a signature bond. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond, but as for non-monetary conditions, that the defendant first have no contact with Brett H. Brett is spelled with 2 T's. And that the defendant not use or possess any financial documents or transaction cards not in her own name.
We have no objection.
Okay. I'm gonna order a signature bond with the conditions that you have no contact with Brett H. That you not use or possess any financial documents or instruments not in your name. These are felonies, which means you're entitled to have a preliminary hearing within a certain amount of time. I'll also note that you have an open case with an initial appearance on May 18th at 8:30 a.m. It's for misdemeanors. Attorney Brune, why don't you ask your attorney?
So we'll waive time limits for the preliminary hearing. Is there anything in the system for Ms. Buell that has a court date on May 13th?
I see traffic tickets, 26 TR 4646 has an intake date of May 18th.
May 18th or May?
I'm sorry, May 13th.
Okay,
So,
that's traffic
I don't know,
tickets.
but if I show up one day, then.
Usually you could maybe negotiate with traffic.
Oh, get it off.
Yeah, so maybe they can drop something. So May 13th, what time is the intake?
There's not a time listed.
Okay. And then May 18th.
Thanks,
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're time limits waived?
I did.
Okay,
yes.
we'll waive the time limits then, and we're adjourned.
Might not have said it. Okay.
I missed it.
The next up is Kendra Brunner.
There are more things than normal with that case I didn't want to miss, so. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Kendra Brunner, 26 CF 1030. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Ms. Brunner appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct. Ms. Brunner does qualify for public defender representation.
So you have a right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're gonna work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible, okay? Find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first have no contact with Carlos A.S. And no contact with Susanna P.O. Susanna is spelled Susana. The state would also request the non-monetary condition that the defendant not use or possess any financial transaction cards not issued in her own name. Yes, so Carlos's last initials were A as in apple and S as in snake, and Susanna's were P as in Peter and O as in Owen.
All right, there's a PSA filed in this case. Considers the new activity 2 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale. And Ms. Brunner a 2 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale. It recommends a signature bond. Attorney Broom?
No objection.
Okay. Well, or a signature bond with the conditions that you have no contact with Carlos AS or Susanna PO, that you not use or possess any financial transaction documents not in your own name. I will, these are felonies. Will the time limits for the prelims be kept or waived? Yep. Thank you for checking though. I don't always get it right, so I do appreciate that.
We'll waive time limits.
All right, we'll waive the time limits then for the preliminary hearing, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Right this way. Next up is Kadesha Redden Morris, appearing by Zoom.
You need a second? Okay. Ms. Redmond Morris, can you hear us all right? Thumbs up if you can. All right, I see a thumbs up. We'll get your case called here shortly.
If I may inquire before then, Ms. Redmond Morris. I'm with the Public Defender's Office. I had a note that you did not wish our assistance. Did you still not wish our assistance and wanted to represent yourself today or no?
Not last one. They waived. Yep.
Correct.
She said yes to public defender.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, Redmond Morris. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Kadesha Redmond Morris, 21 CF 2978, 21 CF 1017, 20 CM 2545, 20 CF 2971, and 24 CF 1554. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Kadesha Redmond Morris appears via video conferencing from another part of the jail. Laura Bruin's present in the courtroom. If I'm understanding correctly, there are 2 of these cases that are here for an initial appearance. Is that correct?
See, yep, 21 CF 2978 and 24 CF 1554. The other 3 cases are here for a bail bond hearing.
And could you please, I can distinguish which one of these is the 24 CF case, but my 21 CF cases don't have case numbers on them. So what's the charge in the initial appearance case, please?
It is 2 felony bail jumpings, counts 1 and 3. Count 2 is a misdemeanor bail jumping. Count 4 is a disorderly conduct.
November 5th, 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I found the right complaint. Then I have received copies of both of these complaints. Ms. Redmond Morris, did they give you copies of the complaints? If you could just give me a thumbs up if you have them. Okay, thumbs up. And then is the address on those 2 complaints correct for you? It's on Northport.
I saw a head shake no.
Okay, so can we get a correct address then? We might need some help from the bailiff. I don't know if we can hear her.
And the bailiff should also be aware there's some construction going on, which is providing a significant amount of noise on our end. I don't know if you can hear it. Can we get a correct mailing address for Ms. Redmond Morris? Yep, 21 or CF 2978. I think I said that one. There's 2 with initial appearances, 3 with bail bond hearings. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
You just killed the camera as well. So I believe he's like silencing the microphone when he goes and talks to her, so his questions come out of it and then turning back on it.
Yeah.
So he's aware I don't understand.
Okay, thanks.
Commissioner Rome,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
she's just gonna tell you her address.
Okay,
Okay,
7101 Tempe Drive.
okay. Can you say it again?
7101 Tempe, TEMPE Drive. It is a house, no apartment.
okay, I
Is
think
that
we got it.
Madison?
Is it
Is
Madison?
that
Yes, Madison, Wisconsin, 53719.
53719? All right. Thank you for that. Right. On the IAs for the new case, Attorney Brune
I think I already waived reading of the 2 complaints.
and is Ms. Redmond Morris eligible?
I do not know.
So Ms. Redmond Morris, you might be eligible for the public defender. If you like representation by them, you should apply as soon as you can. They have a pretty long wait list. So the longer you wait to apply, the further down that list you'll fall, okay? Looks like you're facing 5 cases, so you may need to apply in each case, all right? I find probable cause in the newer case, probable cause has already been found. I'm sorry, on the cases we're here for an IA for, the cases we're here for a bail bond hearing for, probable cause has already been found. Let's get the state's recommendations for each case.
Sure. So I will be requesting, let's call it $3,000 in each of the newer cases, quotes around newer, 24 CF 1554 and 21 CF 2978. In the 24 CF case, I'll request the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant have no contact with Kenneth P. And in the 21 CF matter, I will ask that the defendant have non-monetary conditions of no contact with Keisha R. Keisha spelled Kisha. That the defendant make no acts or threats of violence towards D'Antonio R.W. That is spelled DIONTONIO. That the defendant not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. As for the
And that was 21 CF 1554.
no, this is
2978.
2978, the new matter.
Yeah.
And then I will also request $3,000 in 20 CF 2971 and 21 CF 1017. And then I would ask for $1,000 in 20 CM 2545. Terms of,
All right, can you go back and slow down? I'm trying to write down everything and
sure,
there's a lot of noise. It's not your fault. So let's make sure we're all on the same page. 21 CF 2978, you're requesting $3,000 no contact with Keisha R., no acts or threats of violence to DeAntonio R.W., and no use or possession of any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia.
That's it.
And 24 CF 1554, you're asking for $3,000 and no additional conditions.
Just no contact with Kenneth P. That's P as in Peter.
Okay. And then let's start with the next one.
Yes. So then when it comes to the older cases, there's two felonies. One is 20 CF 2971.
Okay.
And one is 21 CF 1017.
Yep.
I would ask for $3,000 cash in each of those two cases. And then there is one misdemeanor, 20 CM 2545. There I would ask for $1,000 cash bail. In terms of support for that cash bail request across these cases, the defendant now has 4 pending felony cases in Dane County across a number of years dating back to essentially pandemic era. She has been in warrant status since I guess she went into warrant status about 4.5 years ago and has been in warrant status since then. I'll note that formal charges have not been filed, and so the court should weigh this point appropriately, given that factor. But I will note the defendant was picked up on a new case involving off of these warrants. That has not been charged out. It is still under review. It has been sent for feedback. So again, I don't think any of the behavior in it necessarily needs to be weighed by the court, but certainly the fact that it was new police contact that led to her being arrested and not her turning herself in or anything like that. If we go back to 2021, which was when the defendant went into warrant status initially, just prior to that, she did have a couple of bench warrants in those 2020 and 2021 matters. So while those are dated, I think they're relevant as the last court appearances that the defendant was required to appear. She was not appearing at them somewhat consistently back then. I think given the new criminal behavior, specifically in the 24 CF case, the police contact leading to the arrest, the lengthy time in warrant status, the prior missed court appearances before that lengthy time in warrant status, and just at this point, the sheer number of cases, specifically felony cases and violent cases at that, I think necessitates high cash bail.
All right. Attorney Bruin?
Ms. Redmond Morris, would you like a chance to speak to me privately briefly before I make a bail argument for you? Okay. You put her in a breakout room?
Yep. Ms. Redmond Morris, we'll get you in a breakout room with your attorney, and then we'll come back after that breakout's done, okay?
We get a paper.
Do you have a bail recommendation for him? I think it was Marcus Phillips.
Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Let me get it.
Hey, Holly had booted me back to the main session.
All right, Attorney Bruin's gonna come down and speak with you in person, okay, Ms. Redmond Morris?
Oh,
All right, do we have Ms. Redmond Morris? Okay. All right, can you hear us all right, ma'am? You can just give me a thumbs up. All right, I see a thumbs up. The state gave its recommendations. I'll note that there were some some conditions already, some non-monetary conditions in the three older cases, or the three cases where we're past the IA. Is the state asking for those conditions to continue?
Yes.
Okay. And Attorney Broom, would you like me to recount what those conditions are, or?
No.
Okay,
As far as the defendant's position on bail on all of these cases, she is indigent most likely and is unlikely to be able to afford $13,000. I would ask the court to consider something a little bit less. She does understand that based on the length of time these warrants were out, that some cash is going to be set. However, one thing that the court had asked for, I'm sorry, that the state had asked for was a no contact, I believe, with Keisha R. That we would object to. That is my client's mother. She does need to be able to have contact with her, has belongings that need to be sorted out, and such things. This case that that is connected to does go back to 2021. I understand when the state was talking about its argument in cash bond, although there is a 2024 CF case, the allegations in that case also go all the way back to 2021. So we go for all the way from 2021 until the current arrest with Ms. Redmond Morris not having law enforcement contact. So for those reasons, I'd ask that there be no contact set with Keisha R, and that cash bond to be set in an amount lower than 13,000 total.
all right, any response from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So the length of time that these cases have been out there kind of cuts both ways, shows that there wasn't much, if any, contact with law enforcement. But there's so many cases that they obviously need to be resolved, and they're not resolved until the court says they're resolved. I do believe cash is appropriate, but I'm going to go slightly less than what the state recommended. In 24 CF 1554, I'm going to order $2,000 cash. The conditions that Ms. Redmond Morris have no contact with Kenneth P. In 21 CF 2978, I'm going to order $2,000 cash with the condition that Ms. Redmond Morris make no acts or threats of violence to Keisha R. No acts or threats of violence to DeAntonio R.W., I believe were the initials. And that Ms. Redmond Morris do not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. In 20 CF 2971, I'm going to order $2,000 cash. The condition that you have no contact with Officer A. Hoffman, except in their position as a law enforcement officer. 21 CF 1017, I'm going to order $2,000 cash with the condition that you have no contact with Peter F., that you not use or possess any drugs, drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. $2,000. And in 20 CM 2545, I'm going to order $500 cash with the conditions that you make no acts or threats of violence to MAA. I'll enter not guilty pleas as to any misdemeanors. There are felonies in the two cases we're here on an IA for. Will the time limits be kept or waived?
Kept, thank you.
We'll keep the time limits for those preliminary hearings then, and we are adjourned. Thank you, ma'am. Yep, just let me know when you're ready. Who do we have next? Thank you.
I mean, if you wanted to bring him out, I could talk to him. You can stand right here.
Okay, this is the state of Wisconsin versus Dominic Hall, 26 CF 1027. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Hall appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address on the complaint is correct. Mr. Hall currently does not qualify for public defender representation, but may be reevaluated.
So if you feel like your circumstances have changed after this evaluation, you can contact the public defender again to reapply. We provided you with the information on how to contact the public defender. You can also contact the county, the clerk of court's office, to ask for county representation to cover some of the cost, okay? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
Before the state gives its recommendation, my understanding is that there may be a victim who would like to make a statement.
Is there somebody who identifies as a victim in this case who would like to make a statement? If so, can you please unmute and identify yourself? And you can identify yourself using your first name and last initial, just your initials or some other way.
My name would be Jamie S. I am mother of the actual victim
And can you spell your
in
first
these
name?
accusations. Jamie.
And S is in Sam?
Yes.
Okay, and what would you like me to know today, ma'am?
Well, I am here to let you know that my life has been turned entirely upside down. I work third shift as a caregiver out in Cambridge. Dominic and I share 9 children between the 2 of us. And as of right now, my 15-year-old is being held responsible to care for the younger siblings so that I'm able to go to work. I'm at risk of losing my housing. I'm at risk of losing my electricity. There is a lot of financial and just physical needs of my household that require Dominic. And I am terrified of if certain things that the state is going to ask for are going to be granted. I will end up homeless. My children will end up homeless. I have 2-year-old twins with Dominic, and I have a 5-month-old son. They need their dad.
Thank you, ma'am. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first not possess or consume any alcohol, and second, that he have no contact with any juvenile.
Attorney Bruin?
I have no objection to a signature bond, no objection to the no alcohol condition. I would object to the condition proposed that Mr. Hall have no contact with any juvenile. I believe that is overly broad. I think the child involved in this case, if I'm understanding the situation correctly, does not live in his household. So I would simply ask that it be a no contact only with the alleged victim and not with all children.
I believe that's the person identified as child victim 1 in the complaint. Does the state have a response?
No, Your Honor, I'll defer to the court.
All right. Would the state care to provide any initials for child victim one?
Believe that that is MR.
Thank you. And Attorney Bruin, can you ask, is there any objection to no contact with MR?
We have no objection to that.
Okay. So I'm going to order a
May I
signature
say one more
bond.
thing?
No, ma'am. I'm going to order a signature bond with the conditions that you not consume or possess any alcohol. I'm going to order that you have no contact with MR and that you make no acts or threats of violence, okay? This is a really light touch given what's alleged. What's alleged is a felony, which means any violations of this could result in a felony bail jumping charge, and those stack out really, really fast. In addition to that, a court could impose a significant amount of cash. They could change up conditions so you have no contact with any juvenile. It can get really, really restrictive, really, really fast. So make sure you're showing up for court whenever court is scheduled, that you're following the law, okay? I think, given, I don't know you, but what I read in the complaint, if you're abiding by that no alcohol condition, I think everything else will kind of fall into line, okay? So really mind your P's and Q's and do what you need to do because kids need their dad. And I don't like when kids have to see their dad or their parents in jail smocks. I don't like that, okay? Keep your focus on your kids, no alcohol, everything else will fall into place, okay? This is a felony charge. Will the time limits be kept or waived?
Yeah.
Did that address your question, ma'am?
So I was gonna bring it.
Were you asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
It still provides some complication
Okay,
due to my placement schedule, but I will do my best to make arrangements for that.
okay. So is MR not a child in common, but a child of yours?
Yes,
Okay. And is that one of the 9 kids you were referencing?
yes, 5 of those live in the home full time.
Okay.
Yeah, hang on. So, do you want it?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to strike the no contact with MR. It's encompassed by the no acts or threats of violence condition, so really make sure you're minding that condition, okay?
Okay, and then
And in regards to time limits,
we'll waive time limits.
okay. Right, we'll waive time limits then for the preliminary hearing. I believe that's all I can do for the parties today, so we are adjourned. Thank you.
Right this way.
Thank you.
Well,
Oh, okay, it's good for me to know. What?
I'm sorry, can I get the name, please?
Do you know when you missed your?
Pony.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
you turned yourself in, that's the name.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Dontel Coney, 26 CF 834, 26 CM 792, and 26 CM 1018. 26 CM 1018 we're here for an initial appearance on. The other 2 hearings we're here for bail bond hearings on. Can I get appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Coney appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint. Which one of the 2 CM cases is the initial appearance case? What's the
It
effective
is
date?
1018, that is alleged to have occurred on March 3rd,
March 3rd, okay.
2026. It's a single count of theft.
Yep, and the address is correct at the Beacon, and Mr. Coney qualifies for public defender representation.
Right, you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're gonna work on getting somebody appointed for you, all right? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations on each case?
In the newest case, I will be requesting $500 cash bail. I would ask for the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant be banned from the UW campus per the ban map. In each of the older cases, I will ask there as well for $500 cash bail, whether that's an increase or just setting $500. I would ask that in each case with the same non-monetary conditions. Most of these cases are fairly minor conduct. I'm taking that into consideration with my asks in each case. But the defendant does have a ton of bench warrants over the past few years. To run through them fairly quickly, I'm seeing bench warrants from September 21st of 2023, February 23rd of 2024, July 26th of 2024, August 20th of 2024, April 29th of 2026. So just a clear disregard for coming to court, as well as continued criminal activity, I think makes cash bail appropriate in each of these cases.
There's a PSA filed in the newest case, considers the this activity a 6 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale, considers Mr. Coney a 6 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale, recommends cash, pretrial supervision. Attorney Broom?
So Mr. Coney, I note that this last case that's here for initial appearance is an offense date of March 3rd of 2026. And it does appear that the last missed court date for Mr. Coney was after that on April 29th of 2026. But I also have him as the date of arrest being April 26th of 2026. So it's my understanding from him that he actually realized he missed court and then came and turned himself in. At least I'm not aware at this point in time of any charges associated with, an arrest on the 29th or anything like that. So I think that is something in his favor that he turned himself in. He's on disability. He does not have funds to post cash. I'd ask that bond be reinstated as previously set on the 2 older cases and that a signature bond be set on the newer case. And we have no objection to the UW campus band request.
Okay, any response by the state?
No, you are.
All right. Looking at your history, Mr. Coney, there's a lot of criminal cases. Here in your 2 newest cases, one of them was set for a prelim and there was a failure to appear for that. I believe you're on supervision because you're identified by a probation and parole agent. Cash is just simply necessary in a case like this. When somebody presents a history, like you have, sir, I'm going to order $500 cash in 26 CM 1018, the ban from the UW campus per the campus map. We'll provide that to you. In 26 CM 792, I'm going to order $500 cash. I'll also order that you're not to be at the mint mark as previously ordered. In 26 CF 834, I'm going to order $500 cash with the conditions that you have no contact with GRN, that you're not to be on the 600 block of East Mifflin Street. Those conditions in the 2 cases that we were past the IA on were already ordered. I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf in the newest case, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
1500, sorry.
Next up is James Kimbrough.
I'm sorry, what? Yes, yeah.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus James Kimbrough, 26 CF 1025. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says somewhere in there like. Guys, for this before you and I've been in. Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Mr. Kimbrough appears in person with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct, and Mr. Kimbrough does qualify for public defender representation.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You qualify for the public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible, okay, sir? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and second, that he not possess or consume any alcohol.
I'm sorry, that was a signature bond?
Yes.
And it's my understanding that Mr. Kimbrough is on probation and parole out of Winnebago County. Attorney Bruin?
We have no objection to the state's proposal.
Okay. Then I'll order a signature bond, the condition that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid license and that you not consume or possess any alcohol. This is a felony. Will the time limits for the freeland be kept or waived?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll keep the time limits given the PO hold.
All right, we'll keep the time limits in place then, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Marcus Reynolds, appearing by Zoom.
Mr. Reynolds, can you hear us? Just give me a thumbs up if you can. All right, I see a thumbs up. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Marcus Reynolds, 26 CM 1023. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Marcus Reynolds appears via video conferencing from another part of the jail. Laura Bruin's in the courtroom. Mr. Reynolds, could you give me a thumbs up if you received a copy of the criminal complaint? Yep, I see the thumbs up. We'll waive reading. The address is correct. Mr. Reynolds qualifies for public defender representation.
All right, you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this, sir. The public defender is going to work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state is requesting $500 cash bail. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first be banned from the McDonald's location that is on Regent Street in Madison, and that the defendant not possess or consume any alcohol. In terms of support for that cash bail, the defendant was obviously out on bond at this time, engaging in new criminal behavior and resistive behavior with law enforcement. He also has recent bench warrants issued. I'm seeing one from February 12th of 2024 and one from May 31st of 2024 that was not served for about a month and a half. Given those factors, I do believe some cash bail is appropriate here.
All right, Attorney Broom.
I'm asking the court to set a signature bond. Mr. Reynolds does not have $500 to post. He is a local resident. He's lived in Dane County for the last 20 years. It has been, I think, since 2024, so it's been some time since any missed court dates. He is very motivated to make court dates in this manner. He, I think, would want to contest these charges, and so is very interested in making court dates so that he can pursue the defenses he believes he has in these cases. And as I said before, is not able to post any cash, so I'd ask for a signature bond.
Response?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
I think cash is certainly warranted in a case like this, when the underlying behavior is essentially the same charges. Here it's the same charges plus a misdemeanor bail jumping. $500, I think, is a bit much. I think Mr. Reynolds will come back to court if the amount is lower. I'm going to order $200 cash. Mr. Reynolds, you're going to be banned from the McDonald's on Regent Street, and I'm going to order you to not consume or possess any alcohol. I'll enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. It looks like Mr. Reynolds, you have a status conference in branch 14 on May 18th at 1 p.m. Okay, so you'll be back in court at that time. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Next up is Justin Fonville.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Justin Fonville, 26 CF 1031. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
And then you're on. Mr. Fonville appears in person, in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct. Mr. Fonville qualifies for public defender representation.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible. I'll note my sheet indicates that Mr. Fonville is on a body only hold from Sauk County, facing an OWI 3rd, an operate PAC 3rd, and resisting obstructing. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
I'm going to request $10,000 cash bail. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first not operate a motor vehicle, and second that he not possess or consume any alcohol. The reason for the substantial cash bail request, the defendant has open cases in Dane, Rock, Jefferson, and Sauk County. There are warrants out for all of his open cases at the time of this arrest. Looks like the defendant had been out in warrant status just here in Dane County. That's case 23 CF 1247 since May of 2024. In that case, the defendant had posted $2,000 cash bail that was forfeited by the judge after the non-appearance. There's an arrest warrant for Mr. Fonville out of Sauk County. That is case 25 CF 444. That's for failure to appear in an initial appearance on September 10th of 2025. Bench warrant was issued on June 17th of 2024 for a failure to appear in Jefferson County, case 24 CM 133, and a bench warrant was issued in Rock County on May 30th of 2024. That's in case 23 CT 158. Two of the defendant's open cases are OWIs, so if convicted of all of them, he stands to be charged with an OWI 4th, which could carry a prison sentence. During this particular incident as well, the defendant gave a fake ID to law enforcement and admitted that he has too many cases in too many counties, which is why he does not show up to court. Given all of those factors, I do believe a substantial amount of cash bail is the only way to assure Mr. Fonville's voluntary appearance in court, and I think $10,000 does the job.
Attorney Broom, when you're ready.
Mr. Fonville is not able to post that kind of substantial cash, and 10,000 seems awfully high, considering what the underlying offenses here, 2 misdemeanors with a felony bail jumping attached. I understand he has a number of cases in a number of counties at this point in time. It's been a lot for him to deal with. I guess the court is going to set some cash at this point in time, but I'd ask the court to consider something more modest, like maybe in the $1,000 range. 10,000 just is awfully high considering the underlying offense.
All right. Any response by the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Begin by noting, Mr. Fonville, in your 23 CF 1247 case, you have a bail bond hearing set for May 7th in front of Judge Burrs. Here, I think a high amount of cash just is appropriate. You have cases all over the state, warrants out. There's allegations that you're lying to police about who you are. Going so far as to have a fake ID, facing 2 OWI cases. The charges in the underlying 23 CF 1247 case are quite serious. I'm not confident that anything less than a substantial amount of bail is appropriate here. I'm going to order $10,000 cash, the condition that you not operate a motor vehicle and that you not consume or possess any alcohol. This is a felony level case. Will the time limits for the prelim be kept or waived?
Kept.
Okay, we'll keep the time limits for the prelim in place then. I'll enter not guilty pleas to the misdemeanors and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Try to get in. Go with the bailiff.
All right, next up is Kelly Press.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Kelly Protz, 26 CF 1029. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Is it Protz?
Yes.
Mr. Protz appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct and he does qualify for public defender representation.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in cases like this, sir. You're eligible for the public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible. I'm just taking a look at the complaint. Find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first be banned from the Quick Trip that is located on Farwell Street in McFarland, and that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
Yes.
Yeah, no objection.
Driving through. Here.
I will order a signature bond with the conditions that you're banned from the Quick Trip on Farwell in McFarland, that you're not to use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. You're already facing a misdemeanor bail jumping in this case. If you violate bail in this case, that's going to be a felony bail jumping charge you could be facing, okay? So please take these conditions seriously. I seriously considered cash if the state asked for it. I don't like to see the bail jumping charges. I just don't. These orders do mean something, all right? Will the time limits for the prelim be kept or waived?
We'll waive time limits.
All right, I'll enter a not guilty plea to count 2. We'll waive the time limits for the prelim on count 1, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Next up is Antonio Howard. Howard.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Antonio Howard, 26 CM 1021. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Howard appears in person with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct and he does qualify for public defender representation.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this, sir. You're eligible for the public defender. They're gonna work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible. I'll note that I believe there's a DOC hold on Mr. Howard in this case. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant be banned from all target locations.
Is that banned from all targets?
Yes.
I'm considering a condition that Mr. Howard not consume or possess any alcohol, given what was stolen. Attorney Broom?
So we have no objection to a ban, the signature bond or the ban from target location. I guess I would say that there's no. I understand what he's alleged to have stole, but there's no evidence of him being under the influence or anything involved in this case, so I would object to the no alcohol condition.
A response by the state?
No, Your Honor.
Sure. I'll order a signature bond with the condition that you're banned from all target locations, okay? We've got quite a few cases, sir. So I hope you start finding a way to take care of them, all right? Getting charged and everything like that is its own type of trauma, so. I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. And we are adjourned. Thank you.
Great, Mr. White. Next up is James Moore.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus James Moore, 26 CM 1016. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Moore appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct. Mr. Moore does not currently qualify for public defender representation.
Right. So you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're not eligible for the public defender currently, but if you feel like your circumstances have changed such that you may have become eligible, you can contact them using the information we provided to you and ask them to reevaluate you. Otherwise, you can take your information to the clerk of court's office and ask for county representation. They'll conduct an evaluation to see if you qualify for county representation, okay? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state is requesting $350 cash bail. I'll ask for the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant have no contact with Topeka P. I will also ask for a ban from any place that Topeka P resides or temporarily occupies. The basis of the cash bail request would be the violation of the 72-hour no contact provision. Given that almost immediate turnaround, it does make the state concerned about future willingness to abide by court orders, including that to appear voluntarily at court. So I do believe some cash bail is appropriate at this point.
Your Honor, I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond. While I understand the state's argument, the allegations, even taken in the light most favorable to the state in the complaint, is an allegation of third-party by phone contact, not in-person contact, not something where Mr. Moore himself directly is alleged to violate the no contact. So I think under the circumstances that a signature bond is still appropriate here. He is a lifetime resident of Wisconsin. We have not had any information provided about missed court dates or other reasons why he might not make it to court. So under the circumstances, I think simply ordering the no contact, again, emphasizing that it's all forms of contact. I think Mr. Moore certainly understands that. He, I think, may have some defenses in this case, depending on what communication actually happens behind the scenes here. And so I would ask the court for the signature bond for those reasons.
All right, any response?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to order a signature bond with the condition that you have no contact with Topeka P or any place Topeka P resides or occupies. It appears from my reading of this that there may have just been a confusion about how Mr. Moore would go about getting his property back. If you have any questions about that, you should reach out to an attorney or have a conversation with an attorney before trying to get it back. But no contact includes no contact through a third party. If you have a question, you should ask your attorney. If it's something I can answer, I'll answer.
As far as getting the things, you have to go through this on very.
That's what.
Yeah, yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, go through the police department.
So if there's mention that we wanting to contact and someone doesn't on their own, or well,
Yeah, you just need to do it. Make sure all this. Okay, all right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a short break.
So next up is Abdullah Yusuf.
Right, it'll back over back, start. Exactly. He thinks not that bad from here on out, and I see Mr. Lloyd, and I'm like.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a pain.
Yusuf.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Abdullah Yusuf, 26 CF 1034. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
What's your correct address? Gammon. And then is it 53711? One. On 118 Gammon. Mr. Yusuf appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. We do need to update his address to 1118 Gammon Lane. That's Madison 53719. Does not look like my office has seen Mr. Yusuf yet for evaluation of appointment for an attorney.
All right, Mr. Yusuf, you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. If you'd like to be represented by the public defender, we provided you instructions with how to reach out to them. If you're not eligible for the public defender because you make too much money, can apply for, through the clerk of court's office to see if the county will cover some of the cost of your representation, okay? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
No objection.
Okay, I'm going to order a signature bond with the conditions or condition that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. This is a felony, which means you're entitled to have a preliminary hearing within a certain amount of time. Those time limits be kept or waived.
We'll waive time limits.
All right, we'll waive the time limits for the prelim then, and we are adjourned. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Next up is Tyson Christian.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Tyson Christian, 26 CM 1034. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Christian appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct. Mr. Christian does qualify for public defender representation.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this, sir. You're eligible for the public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed to your case as soon as possible, all right? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state is going to be requesting $500 cash bail. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first be banned from the State Street area per the ban map, and that the defendant not possess or consume any alcohol. I would note this is now the defendant's fourth open criminal case. He's violating specific conditions of bond. Given those factors, I would ask for cash bail.
Attorney Bruin?
Stay here till the score day, that's not too late in July. So in lieu of gas bail, that they can put me on bail monitoring, so if I have a breathalyzer, I won't drink. I don't want to drink, I'm so
I'm sorry.
Mr. Christensen is indigent. He's not able to post any cash bond. I'd ask this court for a signature bond. If I knew pretrial services had alcohol monitoring available, I would ask for that, as Mr. Christian would be interested in that, but it's my understanding it is not currently available. He is a lifetime resident of Dane County. If any cash bond is set, he will most likely just be sitting in custody. Fundamentally, it's a misdemeanor case, so I would ask for a signature bond.
All right, any response by the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So this is a tough position because the allegations are pretty blatant. Just stuff people shouldn't do. Shouldn't be climbing on squad cars. There are allegations at this point. But right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order a signature bond, sir. I'm going to take a chance on you, okay? I think the state's totally correct in their analysis. But we don't have pretrial services available to provide alcohol monitoring. But I'm going to order some additional conditions, okay? I'm going to order that you're banned from the State Street Langdon area as provided on the map we'll give to you. I'm going to order that you not consume or possess any alcohol, all right? I can't order alcohol monitoring at this point. But there are services in the community you can avail yourself of to help you if alcohol is something you struggle with, all right? Something I struggle with. It's a drug, it's powerful, so I get it. I'm going to trust that you're going to take the steps necessary for you to get that under control, okay? All right, and you're gonna get it under control, right? Okay.
Was for.
And I don't want you to say anything too much because it can be used against you. But I'm gonna put my trust in you that you'll get that done, right? And I'm hopeful that that will help you get that done, okay? All right. I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf and we are adjourned. Thank you, sir.
Next up is Nicholas Witt.
Okay.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Nicholas Witch, 26 CM 1027. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Nicholas Witch appears in person in custody with attorney Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. We do need to update his address to 3917 Lean Road, apartment number 248. That's Madison 53703. And Mr. Witch does qualify for public defender representation.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this, sir. You're eligible for the public defender. They're gonna work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state is requesting $500 cash bail. I would ask for the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant be banned from all Ulta beauty stores. The defendant has 4 open criminal cases. At this point, there are failures to appear from April 7th of this year in 3 of those open cases. There's also a miss from April 5th of 2023 out of Columbia County. That was not served until about July 19th of 2023. So about 3 months there. Given the new criminal activity, the missed court, and the number of cases, the state is requesting cash bail.
We can try. Yeah, we can try it. Just to look something up. Bear with me just a moment.
Yep. I should note there's a PSA filed with this case listing the allegations as a 5 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale. Mr. Witch, a 5 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale, recommends moderate cash bail with pretrial supervision and electronic monitoring.
So Mr. Witch is indigent. It looks like after the April 7th missed date, there was a bail bond hearing where some cash was set in those matters. I'm not sure. I think Mr. Witch has remained in custody in the meantime, and now these cases are coming through, or these charges are coming through. There's just multiple offense dates involved. I would ask the court to consider a signature bond or a very, very modest cash bail, considering he has certainly not been able to post the, I think, maybe about $300 that was already set, $450 that was already set in the other matters that otherwise he's just going to be sitting here. He does have ties to the community. He's been in this area for about 12 years. He does have many relatives, including his own children in the area. So I would ask for either lower cash or a signature bond.
And my form indicates that there was a refusal to sign the cash bail bond form. Any response by the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Cash here is appropriate. I'm not going to order $500 though. There's 9 charges. the exposure is increasing. 6 of these charges are for bail jumping. I'm going to order $300 cash. And I'm going to ban Mr. Witch from Alta Beauty stores. I will enter not guilty pleas on your behalf, and we are adjourned. Thank you. Right, Swagger?
300 here plus whatever you have to post. So you can go to bail.
Next up is Kier Turner Calvin. Calvin? Or Calvin? Work out. Yeah.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Kier Turner Calvin, 26 CF 1024. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
This year. Oh, it's okay. I have that right here then. Okay. So we can update that and send that. Mr. Turner Calvin appears in person with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. We do need to make a correction to the address. It should be 1310 Park Circle in Sun Prairie, and Mr. Turner Calvin does qualify for public defender representation.
For the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this, you're eligible for the public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible. My notes indicate that Mr. Turner Calvin may be under a DOC hold. What's the state's recommendation?
I am going to be requesting $1,000 cash bail. I would ask for the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. In terms of support for that cash bail, I would note the nature of the bail jump here. It's a specific violation of a condition of bail. I would also note that the defendant has a missed court appearance from December of last year, December of 2025. He also had DOC warrants out for him at the time of this arrest. Given all those factors, I do believe appearance is a risk here and would ask for cash bail.
Attorney Bruin?
Give me just one moment.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything you care to share?
No, sorry.
I can comment on, it looks like the warrant that was issued on December 8th of 2025. CCAP notes indicate on December 9th of 2025, defendant was in custody at the Dane County Jail at the time of the December 8th, 2025 status conference. So I don't think that particular missed court date should be held against Mr. Turner Calvin. He is on currently a probation hold. Ultimately, it would be up to his agent whether he's released. The allegations here involve a small amount of drugs. It may be that if he has on a signature bond for this case, he'd be eligible potentially for an ATR or some other type of treatment with regard to his probation. So that is what I would ask for. I'd ask for a signature bond.
All right, any response by the state?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to order a signature bond with the condition that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. These are felony charges. One of the charges is felony bail jumping. They stack up really, really fast. So if you don't show up for court or if there's allegations of not following the law, the state could charge you with another bail jumping charge. And it just multiplies really, really fast. There's a lot of exposure there. All right. Also, if I failed to say it, I'm going to order that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without valid prescription. I'm pretty sure I said that. I just want to be sure. These are felony charges. Will the time limits be kept or waived?
Yeah, we would keep the time limits.
All right, we'll keep the time limits in place then, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Right, thanks, sir. The next up is Tyrone Underwood. Underwood.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Tyrone Underwood Jr., 26 CM 1024. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
And then. Mr. Underwood appears in person with Laura Bruin. He's also in custody. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct, and Mr. Underwood qualifies for public defender representation.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed to your case as soon as possible. Find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
I have no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for the non-monetary conditions that the defendant be banned from the 1200 block of Williamson Street in Madison, and that the defendant not possess or consume any alcohol.
Yeah. You can do it. All right. We have no objection.
Right. And state recommended a signature bond, a ban from the 1200 block Willie Street, no alcohol.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right.
There was no objection, Attorney Broom?
Correct.
Okay, then I'm going to order a signature bond, a ban from the 1200 block of Willie Street, and the condition that you not consume or possess any alcohol. I also consider ordering that you not use or possess any controlled substances, drug paraphernalia, due to what was found on you or allegedly found on you. It's already against the law. I'm not going to order that, but should be aware that it's something that the court's watching now. Okay. All right. I will enter not guilty pleas on your behalf, and we are adjourned.
Next up is David Schnick.
How do you say your last name, sir? This is the state of Wisconsin versus David Schnick, 26 CF 1033. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Yes.
Mr. Schnick appears in person with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address on the complaint is correct. I do not have information about whether Mr. Schnick qualifies for public defender representation.
Right. You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this, sir. One way to get an attorney is by applying through the public defender's office. They'll conduct an evaluation to see if you qualify for representation through their office. If you're not eligible, you can go to the clerk of court's office and see if the county will cover some of the costs for representation. Okay. The first step is to apply with the public defender. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
I am going to request $1,000 cash bail. I will ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant have no contact with Lauren F, have no contact with James H, and that the defendant have no contact with Cassandra S. Cassandra spelled with 2 S's and a C at the front. I'd also ask the defendant be banned from the Marriott in Middleton, and that the defendant not possess or consume any alcohol. In terms of support for this cash bail request, it appears the defendant has little or no ties to Dane County, as he appeared to be here on some sort of business event based on my notes. He was ID'd by a Michigan driver's license, and the only record that our investigators seem to have been able to find was a 2018 OWI out of Michigan. Given the nature of the charge and the seriousness of the charge, as well as those lack of ties to Michigan, the state is requesting cash bail to assure future appearance in court.
Maybe. Okay, all right, I'll see what I can do. So we have no objection to the non-monetary conditions requested. I would ask the court to consider a signature bond. While Mr. Schnick might not be a resident of Wisconsin, he is a resident of a neighboring state. He does not have a prior record. It's the kind of case where it can often, despite its seriousness, be resolved without necessarily jail time. He has children, ties to his community in Michigan. And if he were to miss a court date, obviously he'd subject himself to the potential of extradition and things like that. Whereas I would assume, based on his lack of any substantial prior history, he's not spent much time in jail, and would most likely want to avoid having to return to the Dane County Jail. And so would be very motivated to make his court date. So I would ask for a signature bond under that basis.
Right, any response by the state?
No, Your Honor.
Right. Going to order a signature bond. The conditions that you have no contact with Lauren F. No, I'm gonna order $250 cash. With the conditions that you have no contact with Lauren F., James H., or Cassandra S., and that you're banned from the Marriott in Middleton, and that you not consume or possess any alcohol. Given the out-of-state ties, the seriousness of the alleged offense, I do think cash is appropriate. It may be that the case resolves without jail time, and that would be great, but we need to make sure we get to that point. And the exposure here and the seriousness of the case just gives me a lot of concern. I'll enter a not guilty plea to count 2. Count 1 is a felony, which means you're entitled to have a preliminary hearing within a set amount of time. The time limits for that prelim be kept or waived.
We'll waive time limits.
All right, we'll waive time limits then, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
With the bailiff.
Right this way. Next up is Demetrius lawyer. Please. Right here.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Demetrius Lloyd, 25. The cases we're on bail bond hearings for 25 CF 2190, 21 CF 2193, 21 CF 2194, 25 CF 2196, 21 CF 2197, 25 CM 2284, 25 CM 2295, and we're here on 2 new cases, 26 CF 1028 and 26 CF 1032. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Lloyd appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the 2 new criminal complaints, waive formal reading. The address is correct, and Mr. Lloyd qualifies for public defender representation.
All right. You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed for you as soon as possible. In the new 2 new complaints, I find probable cause. What are the state's recommendations?
Okay, in the newer cases, in 26 CF 1028, I will be requesting $5,000 cash bail. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first make no acts or threats of violence towards Dwayne W., spelled DWAYNE. I would ask the defendant have no contact with Robert G., and that the defendant not use or possess any dangerous weapons, as that term is defined by statute. In case 26 CF 1032, there I will also request $5,000 cash bail, and I will ask for the sole non-monetary condition that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle. in the older matters, for the misdemeanors, 25 CM 2295 and 25 CM 2284, I will ask for an increase of $500 cash bail in each of those cases with the same non-monetary conditions. In 25 CF 2197, I would ask for an additional $1,000 cash bail there, the same non-monetary conditions. And in the remaining CF matters that we are here for bail hearings on, I would ask in each of those cases for an additional $5,000 cash bail with the same.
5,000.
Yes. With the same non-monetary conditions to carry over in those cases. If, and I'm not sure if these were the matters, if the defendant was previously given conditions of pretrial services, those were removed as part of this warrant process. I understand that they're not taking new people, so I guess I would ask for the same non-monetary conditions without that pretrial services. I don't really see the point in putting the defendant on a wait list to wait for that service. In terms of support for that cash bail request, I think it speaks for itself, the sheer number of cases that we are here addressing with the defendant. The defendant now has 2 open misdemeanor cases here in Dane County, as well as 7 open felony cases. Charges across these cases include, just to name a few, fleeing and eluding, disorderly conduct, and with a dangerous weapon, Act 3 eligible robbery offenses, a variety of those, resisting an officer by failing to stop, sort of the misdemeanor version of a fleeing and eluding, et cetera, felony bail jumpings. I mean, just tons of charges. There are Act 3 eligible offenses. There are thefts. There are fleeing from law enforcement. There are violations of conditions of bail. The defendant does also have a number of bench warrants over the past couple of years. Just to walk through, I'm seeing bench warrants from February 29th of 2024, May 6th of 2026, which I believe are the ones we are addressing right now, as well as a handful from 2023. At some point, it is just clear that small amounts of cash bail are not able to prevent this type of behavior and assure the defendant's voluntary appearance in court. I'm looking through his history. He has previously been able to post anywhere from $150 to $500 to $700 to $1,000. In a number of cases across the years, it has had no effect on his recidivism and his engaging in new criminal activity, and again, very serious criminal activity. That coupled with the behavior in the fleeing and resisting an officer cases, the violent nature of these offenses, which lead the court to have to consider the totality of the circumstances in setting bail, as well as, again, just the sheer exposure across these cases and the number of open cases, I think gives rise to a substantial amount of cash bail. So I would ask for the court to set it as such.
Right. Note that there was a PSA filed in 25 CF 1028. That PSA considers the Mr. Floyd a 2 out of 6, or I'm sorry, a 6 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale and a 4 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale. Recommends cash bail, pretrial supervision, and electronic monitoring. It notes that there are pending charges at the time of the offense, prior misdemeanor and felony convictions. No prior violent convictions, no prior failures to appear in the past 2 years, but some older than 2 years old and a prior sentence to incarceration. Attorney Bruin?
One moment.
I'm sorry. Yep, thank you.
So under the circumstances, I understand that there's going to be some amount of cash that's set today. I would note when Attorney Davies was going through bench warrants, the last one he mentioned was May 6th of 2026. Mr. Lloyd was taken into custody on May 5th of 2026. So I'm guessing that was maybe more of an administrative issue where pretrial services would have notified the court and that sort of thing. So it certainly shouldn't be sort of counted against Mr. Lloyd as a missed court date or anything like that. But I understand there are other circumstances here. Mr. Lloyd does have some cash posted in the cases that are already pending. He does not have the ability to post much additional cash. He is a local resident. My understanding is the arrest on May 5th did occur at his home, so he had not fled the area or anything like that. So I would ask the court to consider setting any new cash bail as low as possible and certainly much lower than what the state is asking for. If I don't know that I was able to add it up as it went along, but it sounded like they were asking for something over $20,000 of additional cash, and that's just, I think, more than these circumstances merit.
All right, any response by the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, it's like part of the reason why Mr. Lloyd was arrested at home is because his pretrial services bracelet was pinging. I guess that cuts both ways. He kept his bracelet charged, but he also needed to be arrested because he's alleged to have been driving over 100 miles per hour on Highway 30 after officers tried to detain him. He's got a ton of open cases. Some of these are Act 3 eligible offenses for which we're on here for a bail bond hearing for. His performance on bail has been less than exemplary. New charges include one DC with the use of a dangerous weapon, and then 7 bail jumpings. I think all except one are felony bail jumpings. I think the state's analysis here is correct. I'm going to order $5,000 on 26 CF 1028. The conditions that you make no acts or threats of violence to Dwayne W., that you have no contact with Robert G., that you not use or possess any dangerous weapons. 26 CF 1032, I'm going to order $5,000 cash with the condition that you not operate a motor vehicle. 25 CM 2295, I'm going to increase bail by $500. All other previously ordered conditions will remain the same, except for pretrial services. 25 CM 2284, I'm going to increase bail by $500 and remove pretrial services. 25 CF 2197, I'm going to increase bail by $1,000, and in the remaining CF cases, I believe that's 25 CF 2190, 2193, 2194, and 2196. I'm going to increase bail by $5,000 each of those cases. All previous bail conditions will remain the same, and if pretrial services was a part of that, I'll remove that condition from those bail orders. Both of these cases involve felonies. I'll enter not guilty pleas to any misdemeanors. Will the time limits for the preliminary hearing be kept or waived?
Kept.
We'll keep the time limits in place then. And I'm sorry. Oh, yep. Any previously posted bail will be applied to the pre-existing cases. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
It is 10,000, 10,000. I think 32,000.
Next up is Jeanette Matherin.
Oh, I just like, oh, it's just funny.
It's one of those things that once you get a break, then your body's like, all right, my turn. I've got some complaints.
Can I actually add that up, right? It is 32,000.
I think it was, yeah, finance too.
Total 32,000?
Increase.
Oh.
Like between like if you want.
Yeah, I think the total.
Whatever it was before plus 32,000.
Yeah, I think the court ordered 32 to get me, and then,
And whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we're good.
Here you go. This is the state of Wisconsin versus, is it Genetti?
Yeah.
Matherin, 26 CM 1035. Can I have appearances, please?
Cameron Davies for the state of Wisconsin.
But you know. Yeah.
You want him to have to go. Says, okay. Let me see what we can do that. Mr. Matherin appears in person in custody with Laura Bruin. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive formal reading. The address is correct, and he does qualify for public defender representation.
Right, you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender, and they're gonna work on getting somebody appointed to your case as soon as possible. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state has no objection to a signature bond. I would ask for non-monetary conditions that the defendant first have no contact with Tyrus M. And that the defendant not use or possess any dangerous weapons as that term is defined by statute. Yes, TYRUS.
That's M as in Matthew.
Yes.
I'm sorry, a signature bond, no contact with Tyrus M. And what was the?
No use or possession of any dangerous weapons.
No objection. There'd be no objection, no comment. Yeah, but once the case is over, then it's awesome. Yep, no objection.
All right, well, or a signature bond with the conditions that you have no contact with Tyrus M, that you not use or possess any dangerous weapons, as that term is defined by statute. I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Right, so.
We are.